Hi, I'm Bronwyn from Wild and Woolly, and I'm going to do a little demo to show you how to do the feather and fan that we're going to be using for the temperature crochet along that we are doing in 2025. So the feather and fan stitch is worked on multiples of 17, and for this demonstration purpose I'm just going to chain 34 so that we can just get started and show you exactly how the pattern repeat works. So bear with me while I crochet 34 and 34 chains, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so when you've chained your number of stitches, if you're following the same pattern as we are using, that would be 204 chains. For this one, it's only going to be 34 because we're just doing a little sample. And then I like to put a stitch marker in that last chain so that I know that that is my last stitch. So for the first row, you're going to double crochet in every chain across, so to give you 204 double crochets, and your turning chain in this case is going to count as your first stitch. So we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to do a double crochet into the next stitch after the stitch marker. Okay, and now you're going to continue to double crochet in every stitch across. And if you're doing the full size blanket with us, that's going to be 204 double crochets. All right, so work your way across, and then we'll come back for the cluster stitch pattern, which is row 2. Okay, so take your time with this. Make sure that you are doing the correct number of double crochets and that you haven't missed any stitches in between, because it's really easy to fix at this point. But if you continue on with the next row and you don't have the correct number of chains, the correct number of double crochets, it's going to be really difficult. Okay, so on my side at this point we will have 34 double crochets, and it's now time to chain 3, and this is going to be our turning chain. Okay, so take your time here, count, make sure that you have the correct number of double crochets, and then we're going to come back for row 2. Okay, once you've done that, chain 3, we're going to turn. And now we're going to start working our ripple stitch pattern. So for this ripple stitch pattern, your chain 3 that you've done here is going to count as your first double crochet. And we work a half a ripple at the beginning, a full ripple in the middle, and another half ripple at the end. If you're doing the full blanket, there'll obviously be quite a few full ripples in the middle. But effectively what it is you are doing double crochet into the same stitch, double crochet into the same stitch, double crochet into the same stitch. Then you're going to skip 1, double crochet, skip 1, double crochet, and you're going to do that 5 times. So let's work through that slowly. So that first chain 3 is counting as your first stitch, first double crochet, sorry. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do another double crochet into the same stitch. So that gives us first double crochet into that stitch. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So that's 1. And that's 2. And then 2 double crochets into the third stitch. Okay, so that's the half a ripple there. Now what's going to happen is you're going to skip that stitch and you're going to do a double crochet into the next one. That's 1. You're going to skip a stitch and you're going to do a double crochet into the next one. That's 2, skip a stitch, double crochet, that's 3, you're going to skip a stitch, do a double crochet, that's 4, and then you're going to skip a stitch and do a double crochet, that's 5. Now something really important to remember here is that before and after every ripple you are skipping a stitch. So we're going to skip that stitch and then we're going to do 2 double crochets into the same stitch, and we're going to do that 6 times. So that's 2 double crochets into 1, 2 double crochets into 2, that's into 3, that's into 4, that's into 5, and now this is the 6th one, so this is our last double crochet 2 into the same stitch. Now that has formed your ripple stitch in the middle, and now same thing again, you're going to skip one, then you're going to do a double crochet into the next stitch, and we're going to do this 5 times. So that's 1, skip a stitch, that's 2, skip a stitch, that's 3, skip a stitch, that's 4, skip a stitch, that's 5, and now we're going to do our last half ripple at the end. So we're going to skip that stitch and we're going to do 2 into the first one, two into the second to last stitch, and then 2 into the very last piece there. So it's quite tricky on this one, but you want to just get into the top of that turning chain, and you're going to do 2 double crochets into that last stitch there. Okay, we're going to chain 3 for our turn, just so that you can see what it looks like. And there is your ripple stitch. So a half ripple at the beginning of the blanket, you'll skip 1 double crochets, then your 6 double crochets, 2 into each stitch, skip ones, and then your half ripple on the end. If you need to change color for the next week, what you will do is just on that last stitch, pull your color through and chain 3 with your new color on the end. And that is pretty much your 2-row repeat for each week. And obviously if the colors change and the temperatures change, then you're going to go up and repeat the same again.